Well, hello, everybody. Whew. I literally just sat down. It's been one of them days. So, anyways, yeah, I literally just sat down as that was finishing up. I got in here, remembered I forgot something. 36 seconds left. I ran to the other end of the house and back again, so I'm out of breath. Yes, folks, it is September 11th, and I thought I'd do that intro for today, and worked on it earlier today and had it all set up, so just about started late. Judy's doing better, but still not great. But anyways, I think she's good enough so I could do the show. So I need to catch my breath, so let's just bring in somebody who might be able to out-talk me and give me a break. None other than the world's favorite Oompa Loompa, and I'm not talking about Hugh Grant. I'm talking about Art Carlson.
Hey, great to be here. Take deep breath, Lloyd. Just
I am.
through the nose and out the mouth. Yeah,
That's what I'm trying. Oh my God! Yeah, I had everything set up, ready to go. I've been ready to go for an hour, and I thought, okay, I got plenty of time. Then Judy was having some problems, so I had to help her do a couple of things. And at the last minute, she says, "I need something to eat really bad." And I thought, okay, so I went ahead and fixed her something, ate me a little something while I was at it, and came in and started my timer, ran back and got in here and got set down. I said, I got to go in and sit down now. And then I realized I'd forgot something, and I had 36 seconds left on the timer, and I knew I had about 15 seconds besides that. So anyways, so how's your day going?
it's going good. Going good. Kind of a somber, slow day today. Just worked along,
Yeah, it was. It's been cloudy and raining here today. We finally started our fall weather. We were almost in the hundreds. Well, we were day before yesterday. It was 100 and I think it was 101 or 102, and then it dropped yesterday into the low 90s, which was a nice break. And then today it's only been in the 80s, so it's been a decent
we're
day.
in the 60s today.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be getting down that low tonight, but
Right. Yep.
anyways, let's bring in our other guest, the Thunder from Down Under.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Good day, mate. And let's not keep Charles. Let's let Charles be in charge. We're going to go ahead and bring him in here.
Lloyd, Dominic,
Yep,
folks like
Charles.
that.
Oh. Whew. So I got a email or a text message from my cousin today. I guess it's 9/11, and which is a very somber day for most Americans. But apparently, our president wasn't able to make it today. He went to some other foreign country.
Oh.
So he wasn't there for the memorial. But let me ask: do you guys, each one of you, remember what you were doing and where you were at when you first heard about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it
And
was a Monday
Art-
night here.
Monday night, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was at
And what-
work.
You were at work?
And this was back at my old job, Rocky Mountain
Right.
Orthodontic. And one of the gals said, "Hey, a plane just crashed into the World Trade Center." Like, what? So I turned on my radio, had my earpiece in and listening. And so I kind of did a play-by-play, and I said, second plane just hit the other tower. And then just before the show, I put up a timeline of the events that happened that day.
Yeah.
So my coworker who was working across from me was just crying, and the room just got really quiet.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah. Charles, do you remember where you were when you first heard it?
Absolutely. I was working too. Um, I was working as a temp for Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and I'm just sitting there sorting papers, and I've got my headphones plugged in, little bitty headphones plugged into my radio, my boombox, listening to Howard Stern. And all of a sudden, he comes on and said and announced that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. And at first, I'm thinking it must have been just like a Cessna or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then a short time later, he comes back on again and he says, "Oh, a second plane is hit. We're under attack." Literally, he said, "A second plane is hit. We're under attack. We're under attack." And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" It is
Yeah.
Howard Stern I was listening to, and
Right.
then,
Exactly. Yeah.
But then later on that day, because I'm just got my head down in my cubicle doing my work, but I could just sense the energy being off with everybody around me. And I looked
Right.
up, and everybody had like gathered around uh, either somebody's computer that had an external feed, cable feed
Right.
for one channel or something. I think it was CNN. I think we could always tune into CNN whenever we wanted to, or something like that. And that's when I went over and I realized what was going on. That it was real. That it wasn't just an act. And then later that night, later that day, whatever, because at that point in time we had offices down in New York City.
Right.
I volunteered to stay on and help. We had like a little messaging center set up to try and locate anybody that might be down there and confirm that they were safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had, luckily, fortunately, within a couple of hours, that task was pretty much completed. And they said, "Well, okay, we know everybody's safe down there, so you can go home."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had I got a phone call from my daughter. Let me preface it a little bit. Of course, we had the Murrah Federal Building attack here in Oklahoma, and my daughter-in-law, she's now my ex-daughter-in-law, but she called and said, "Hey, there's been a terrorist attack on the Murrah Federal Building," and it was just not too long before that when the first strike on that was 96 or 93 when the
93,
Blind
I
Sheik
believe.
was the first strike on the World Trade Center. Well, the guy was on the Blind Sheik was on trial, and Judy was asking me a week or so before that, could that happen here in Oklahoma? I said, what in the hell would they hit in Oklahoma? And it's about 2 weeks later, my ex-daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law at the time, calls and says, "Hey, you guys are, turn on the television. There's been an explosion at Murrah Federal Building." Well, I had family that worked up there, so I started calling around, trying to get hold of some of them, and I couldn't get hold of all of them. And fortunately, they were all not there that day, the ones that did work there. But it was a harrowing day. So then fast forward, and on 9/11, I get a call from my daughter-in-law again, and she says, "Hey, it looks like there's been a plane hit the World Trade Center." Says you might want to turn it on. Says, "I think some people are thinking this might be an attack," and I'm going, "Okay." And I turned it on, and I was sitting there talking to them. I had it on speakerphones talking to them, and Judy got up. We were sitting there watching, and boom, saw the second one hit, and I said, "Oh shit!" And so we saw it. I saw it live when it happened, and it was just and Judy and I watched it all that day, like everybody else. And then when the first tower fell and the second tower fell, it was just, I was speechless, and having had Oklahoma deal with that just a few years before that, I can't remember, 5 years before, I think, Murrah Federal was in 96, I think. I should know that, but Just having gone through that here and knowing how it felt, and I couldn't even imagine the devastation that they were looking at, and just it was just unbelievable. And I watched it for days, like a lot of people did. I saw it the day they brought out the fire chaplain.
It was 95.
95 is when the Memorial Federal was. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
April
So it's about
19th.
April 19th. I knew it was April 19th, but as time goes on, other things have stepped up and taken its place, and nothing is, the devastating loss of the World Trade Center was nothing compared to, of what happened. What happened in the Memorial Federal Building was nothing compared to what happened in the World Trade Center, But it's still something, if you ever get a chance, if you're ever in Oklahoma, go up in Oklahoma City, go up and see the memorial there because it's very moving. And but that was the day that we were Americans.
Yes.
Those of us that were citizens here, we were Americans. We weren't Republicans. We weren't Democrats. We weren't liberals or conservatives. We weren't, libertarians. We were Americans. We weren't Native Americans. We weren't African Americans. We weren't Asian Americans. We were Americans. And it's sad that it took that to bring us all together and how fast it has fallen apart. And,
Right.
I don't do politics on my show. I will save it for your show, Art, but this is 9/11, and everybody knows somebody or knows of somebody or, that is connected to that. Either you've got American family and friends that were connected to it, or you've got, it's something that goes around the world. And
Yep.
it's because I ended up talking with Grant during all that time period, and at one point he was concerned that one of his cousins was on the flight that flew in, one of the flights that flew into the World Trade Center. Fortunately, she'd missed the plane. She was headed back to Australia, but he didn't know for weeks, for days afterwards that she had missed the flight because they didn't know. Everything was such chaos, and it's just, I think what's to me is the saddening part of all this is just another day, and there's so many of the so many of the kids, young people that are around. They were in grade school or they were younger and don't even remember it. I mean, anybody who was born, we got 23-year-old people that had no clue about it, unless we teach it in history or unless we discuss it, unless we bring it up. They have no clue what it was like that day, Just like we don't have any, we may have a closer clue, a closer understanding. Our generation, those of us that were adults when it happened, we probably know more what our parents and grandparents went through on Pearl Harbor Day.
Right.
I remember my uncle he was in the Marines, and he had just come from what they call a ballast run, which is where they load up a battleship full of Marines before they put any armament on them, so that, or any of that, and they basically float them up around Pearl and back down to Treasure Island, just to make sure they're not going to sink, so they can, if they survive the ballast run, then they can put the heavier stuff on there. And so these poor Marines schlep up there and back, that's what they are. They're just ballast to keep the ship balanced. And it's like, that's a hell of a job to have. And I didn't find this kind of stuff out until, because he never talked about it. It wasn't until after my parents had died that he and I really talked about that stuff. And he said he just gotten in that early the night before, and he went and met and I think it might have been who was his first wife or his girlfriend at the time. And, but he went and spent the night, and he gets a call that, he's got to be back on base, and he gets up, and there's people just lining the streets going into the main gate, and they're just cheering on all the. He says, I had no, he says, Pearl Harbor, yeah, I knew where it was because I was in the Marines, and we just came from there, but I didn't realize. And he said the way they cheered us, he says, it was very. His first job was guarding the fuel depot fuel tanks for the Fulton Street Fish Market was turned into a morgue. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's but you know that, and those are stories of Pearl Harbor, and you know we've each got a story. Those of us that remember it and that were old enough to remember it have a story about it, and it just saddens me to no end that you know this is just another one of them days like any other day to a lot of people,
Right.
and you know, business as usual. Some people may get the. I think it's called. Do they call this Remembrance Day now? Is that what they're calling it?
I think so.
I thought they tried to make it into an official holiday, but I don't think it's one that's. I don't think it's
No.
one that you get off. But it's not
No.
a paid holiday. But
It-
you know. So, anyways, that's yeah. I was sitting there watching it on the news. I was sitting there watching it when the second plane hit, and I was just my mouth just hung open. I
Mm.
you know, I'll never forget that. And you know, since my son has divorced that wife, we've not had a tragedy in our state or in our nation. So, just she called twice with bad news, and then
That's an odd
So I'm
connection to make, Lloyd.
yeah, well, you know, I'm thinking that she called twice with bad news. Once he got rid of her, we didn't have those problems. So I'm just saying,
And just a coincidence.
just a coincidence. Yeah. Well, it really is. But I mean, we've known her since she was 15 years old. So but it
Right.
was, but it is true. We haven't had anything like that since he divorced her. So.
Now, you mentioned World War II, how the attack on Pearl Harbor pretty much brought the whole country together. And not
Yeah.
just for a few weeks, but for,
No.
you know, the
From
almost
1941
4 years.
to yeah,
that we were
1941 all
involved.
the way to the 4 years. Yeah, it the nation pulled together, like you said, for 4 years. We you know people were going in, the men were enlisting, the women were working. My mother worked in a munitions plant out in California. You know, she was a supervisor out there, and you know the Rosie the Riveters and all those people, and everybody pitched in, and yet here we were in an attack that happened on the mainland here in the and this generation has sadly dropped the ball in the way they reacted to it. You know,
Right.
you know. Of course, unfortunately we were divided. We were pretty well divided badly, anyways, because we just come through all the hanging Chad crap.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
with that president,
Bush hadn't even finished out his first year of his first term yet.
Yeah,
when
he
this
was
happened.
he was like 7 months into it, I think, or well,
Right.
8 months.
Yep.
Wasn't
Well,
he
9
reading,
months, I guess.
reading stories to little kids?
Yes, he was reading
Cool.
he was reading stories to little kids, and they came in and whispered in his ear, and he shut the book and he says, "Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go somewhere. Something's happened." And he tried to walk out peacefully and tried to deal with it peacefully. And if you ever get, you know, whether you like Bush or not, whether you agree with his politics or not, if you get a chance and you can see that documentary about him and in the timeline and everything that he was on and all that, they put a documentary together about it, and I do not remember the name of it, but you can find it, and it goes into, you know, he told him, he says, "Get this plane down now," you know, and they wanted him to stay up in the mobile command center in Air Force One flying around. They didn't want him to come down, and he said, "You're going to land someplace now, you know, get me down there," because he felt he needed to be on the ground doing his job as a president, trying to calm the nation, you know. And whether you supported him or whether you were disappointed in him or anything later on, at that point, he was a president, and he was the president we needed for that day,
Mhm.
in that week, in
Right.
that month.
Mm.
There's also the other side. You can go over and you can find videos of the Senate singing "God Bless America" or whatever they did, and I don't recommend it because none of them can sing. It's a good thing they had their political jobs because they would have starved as singers. It's like a bad out of tune "Happy Birthday" song, when everybody sings and nobody can carry a tune. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what. But they did try. And
Right.
when you look at what's happened to our country over the
Mhm.
last 22 years now,
Right.
uh, it's sad, because for that 1 week, we were a nation. We were
Right.
a nation of Americans. Then it started slowly falling apart, and
Right. Mhm.
and let's see. Hang with JD said he was returning a blockbuster movie. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
all right. If that's
Yeah,
that's how you
yeah, we're
dealt with
ready.
it, yeah. I went ahead and read the
Mhm.
rest. I'm glad I didn't read all of it out loud because, but it's
Yeah.
there were
Mhm.
there were some.
Well, he has small hands.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways,
Mhm.
he says, "Sorry, Lord. That's all right."
Oh, we had
This
time.
is Yeah. Well, yeah. TMI there. No, but this was a somber day for a lot of people. A lot of us still remember
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
my show is usually full of funny stuff and stuff
Yep.
junk like that. But I just today just hit me that I, I want to talk a little bit about it because I think it's something that Uh, yes, thank you, Steve. And it's. Do you guys remember what it was like? I mean, how odd it was to walk outside. I mean, no matter where you lived, if you stepped outside and just listened, how strange was it?
Yes. No planes in the air.
That was almost. I mean, you they're there
Wow.
all the time. You ignore them, but
Yep.
you don't. But when it stopped, it was the strangest. Yeah,
Yep.
even here in Oklahoma, and we're not really in a regular flight path. We have a high altitude flight paths, but it was just unbelievable
Mhm.
how still it was. And Charles, you lived in New York, in the state of New York, so I suppose it was uh, really quiet up in your part of the country.
Well, it's always really quiet up in my part of the country anyway.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
actually,
Finally.
there was actually not, it wasn't quieter. There was actually more tension up in my area because everybody was like, "Well, are they going to hit Albany next?" You know,
Right.
at that point in time, my mom was working for the I think it was the Division of Military and Naval Affairs for the National Guard in Latham, and so they went from like you know whatever the basic alert. I don't know if we'd had the color graded alerts back then, but whatever it was, they went on to high alert. The security went through the roof.
Yeah.
At the Army the National Guard base over in Latham. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, it was very odd in that time period, and I think I think they developed the color coded alert status rather quickly after it happened.
Mhm.
Once they
Mhm.
surmised that, and once the plane went down in Pennsylvania, and they surmised because you know I get up, I hear about the first plane, then I hear about the Pentagon, then I hear about the second, all within that short time span,
Mhm.
and then I don't know which dog was in here, but one of the dogs in here just perfumed the room and it's about to kill me here.
Oh. Mhm.
Dogs.
Even
I
drama
thought,
queens need a complete breakfast.
yes, exactly. Yeah. But then they went, they developed that alert system rather quickly, and there
Right.
were all sorts of stuff going. And then You know, we had during that same time period, we had the Washington snipers. You know, those two idiots,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and we had the anthrax in the mail.
Right.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Good
don't put on a
band, by the
tinfoil.
way.
Yeah, anthrax in the mail. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. You know, I don't put on a tinfoil hat because you know there's been conspiracy theories about stuff most of my life. You know, going
More
since the
like a
aliens.
lead line hat.
Yeah. I mean, you know, since going all the way back to Roswell, New Mexico. You know, that's how this conspiracy theories have been going in my life. You know, and so, but it just makes you ponder what all of that was going on. Somebody figured, you know, few nutcases figured out a way to just create more terror. Now, were they connected to terrorist group? I don't know. Were they terrorists in the same league as the 9/11 terrorists? Doubtful, but we were all so much, you know, affected by that anything that
Right.
happened was just that much worse. You know.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing, we forgot to say hello to the people in chat, and
Yes, let's
so
do that.
yeah,
A lot of
so
people
we got
in the chat.
we got Grant, Mr. Stay Drunk, we got Jody Drone Shots, we got Yellow Rose Drones, and
That would be Lee.
Lee, yeah, and we got AZ Drone Dude,
That's
David.
David.
and David, yep. We got Arco Drone Solution, that would be Articus. We got Northside Hawk, that would be Dominic. And
Dominic.
let's see who else. Mika Steve. And
Steve.
the X-Wing. And
James.
Green Mountain Droning. That's
That'd be Gene.
Gene, that's what I was going to say. I thought that was
Gene
that's
Fox.
who it was. Gene Fox, yes. And we got Charles, who is with us. And yeah, and let's see. We got Jaybird. That's
Yeah, that'd be Joey.
Joey, yeah. Mr. JRC.
John.
Okay.
Okay, John or Joel?
That's John, I think.
Yeah,
John?
okay. I
Okay.
think you're right.
USA Drone Flyer. That's Joe. That one.
That's
That
Joe.
one I've got. Yeah. We got Maddie, and that's
Maddie.
obviously Maddie.
That's Matt.
Yes. Let's see who else we got here.
We got Mike B, aka
Mike
the
B.
Drone Ranger.
The Drone
Hi,
Ranger.
Mark.
Yes. We got Mark Sullivan. We got Waypoint, New England.
Brian.
Brian, I believe, yeah.
All right,
Then
Brian.
we got
okay.
Jim's Droning.
Maybe Jim.
That would
be
be Jim.
Jim.
Yeah.
We got Steve Carpenter,
That would be
SC
Steve.
Ariel.
Yeah. You know that's pretty good. The reason we're repeating your names, some of us saying, we all help each other out because we're all, at least three of us are old farts. And well, I don't know, Charles. You're not quite as old as Art and I, are you?
I'm butting up against Art's age. I don't think I'm old as you.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
might be older than Dominic.
I'm
Yeah.
55.
I'm older than Dominic.
Okay, so I'm the youngest.
You're the kid in the bunch. So let's see where
We got Bill, Uncle Bill's Toy.
Oh, do we? And we got Jim's
Yep.
Droning and
Jim's Droning, that'd be Jim.
Jim.
We got
Yeah,
Steve Knowles.
we
Maybe
have
Steve
Johnny
Knowles
Drone
at all.
Flyer. Johnny Drone Flyer's here, and we said hello to
Ben
Steve.
Rail.
Hanging with
Eric
JD.
Lipinski.
Eric.
Steve Knowles.
And we got Tammy Jean.
Tammy
Tammy
Jean.
Jean.
Yes, we cannot forget Tammy Jean.
Yes,
Uh,
that's right.
Queen of the Skies.
I
We
I
got
think
Andrew.
Andrew.
and
Can't forget Andrew.
Yeah.
Danny, the drone chase. Drone view chaser. Mhm.
Okay, and Lake Pilot.
Right.
Let's not forget
Lake
him.
Pilot, that'd be
Jack.
Jack.
Just don't
And
say
we
hi,
got-
Jack.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Say
I
hello,
missed it.
Jack.
Then we got Justin,
Justin.
Droner Gaming,
Yes.
RP,
Justin.
Mickey
Yeah.
McH,
Mickey McH.
Waypoint, New England. I think we mentioned.
I think
Yeah,
we
we're
mentioned
on
him.
to
We've
Brian, yeah.
Jim's Droning. The View Chaser. Yep. Mickey
Mhm.
I
McH.
think
Oh, we got
I'm
Brett
doing fine.
Lambo, Drive Zambo.
Oh, yeah. And we got
Right.
Rob Supreme. We can't forget him.
Rob Supreme. That'd
That'll be
And,
Rob.
be Rob.
Waypoint
100%.
New England, we've already got. I
Mr.
think we've got.
Sepulveda. Say that real fast. Yep.
I think we've got everybody. Yep.
Yep. I think
Did I go dead or did you guys go dead?
Nope.
You
Well,
you started a
you
little
can-
bit.
Okay. Yeah, I lost your signal for a second. All I saw was blinking lights, and it was year 3, so I knew it had to be me. So, no guarantees on my internet. It has been squirrely still, and tomorrow I'm calling them to
Oh.
find out what the problem is. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrely. Joe Fodoleo.
Joe Fodoleo, yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Or Leo. Artistic Ariel. Mark R. White. He
Catskill
is R.
Brad.
White.
Catskill
And Brad.
is just-
Catskill Brad.
yeah. Excellent.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be glitchy, guys, and I apologize because it's my internet. I can't do much about it.
Infinity and beyond.
Oh, so yeah, it's been a somber day here, and it's been one of reflection, I think, for the most part.
Mhm.
But well, I tell you what, I'm kind of in pain right now because, as I said, I was in a hurry to get back here, and I caught my shin on something. It's currently bleeding, so
Ooh.
Jeez.
not bad. I think it finally clotted.
Okay. Yeah. And
It's just like, why is it? And then I reached down and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, I did hit my shin. I think I
yeah,
caught it on my.
why is it wet? Oh.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but it was red, so I knew it was blood. So, but I think I caught it on my green screen as I was coming through here. I tripped over it on the frame of my green screen. So, anyways, but I am tired. I've had one of them.
We got Bill Chin Dynasty drones.
Oh, welcome.
Well,
Mhm.
So, you guys know I wasn't on Art Show yesterday. Boy, I watched that, and that was a good show yesterday. I really missed being on there. I would have had fun with Thaddeus yesterday on some of the stuff he was
Yes,
talking
you
about.
would have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
But it was just fun watching it. But Judy has been having some difficulties with her breathing. We've had to. I ended up giving her 3 breathing treatments yesterday, which is really a lot for her. And she just, I just couldn't leave her because she was, I had her on oxygen. I had her, I was giving her breathing treatments. I was giving her breathing medication, and it just wasn't. I was really at the point I said I couldn't be on there. I honestly thought I was going to have to take her over to the ER. But after I gave her the last breathing treatment, it finally, it was the second one I'd given her that day. I'd given her one earlier on, then I gave her a second one. And of course, she can't, she can use the albuterol inhalers, but she can't take the albuterol in the nebulizers because it just races her heart too much, and she's already got tachycardia. So they have a thing called levobuterol, which doesn't have the speed in it, but it still does the job, and it's easier on her system. So I gave her a breathing treatment of that, ended up with giving her 3 yesterday. And she finally about 9 o'clock last night, it started settling in, and then she was able to. But I was waking up about every 3 hours checking on her. So I had kind of a long, it was a long night for me, but she woke up and she was doing better today. So I was glad to.
That's good. Good.
I was glad to see that.
We got Don Mudball Creative.
Oh, hey, Don. Oh, yeah, sure. Sure enough.
Mm.
Now, that is a man of many talents. I watched him last night on Uncle Bill's show, and he just, the guy can do, he's the kind of guy you love to hate, man, because he can do so damn many different things. and leaves the rest of us looking like a bunch of amateurs. You know. I mean, I didn't know he played the ukulele. You know,
Mm.
I had no clue, and he's
Didn't either.
not bad at it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, I don't play the ukulele, but I can play the mandolin. So, you know,
Ah,
which is the ukulele doubled.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, anyways. So what else? What else have you guys been doing here today or the last few days?
well, the Broncos lost
Didn't you expect that?
by 1 point. No, they were actually ahead going into the fourth quarter, and then they
Yeah.
just did some
Well,
boneheaded stuff.
Now, who is their
Yeah.
who is their coach now?
Sean Payton,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
he's a former Saints coach.
All right. All right. Who is
And
Deion Sanders coaching for now? I saw that he's got a
CU
coach.
Buffaloes,
Oh, okay.
they are now 2-0. They beat
Mhm.
Really?
Nebraska. And
Okay.
handily, I might add.
Good. Good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anybody that beats Nebraska is fine with me. So
Yeah.
I know OU did. I don't know what they did this weekend or if they even played, but I know they did pretty good in their first game out. Well, they played against Arkansas State, so
Oh.
but they beat them like 75-0.
Oh man.
Well, what about the Cowboys Giants? 40-0.
Yeah. What was it? 41-0?
Yeah, I saw 40-0.
Yeah, 40.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I like I said, I don't watch football, but I do keep up with a little bit of it because
Hmm.
it's boring. You know, those guys are paid way too much to
Yeah.
play games. You know, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just colossal, and you can't afford to because their salaries are so high that you've got to raise the ticket price so high
Yeah.
that it's almost you can't family can't afford to go to a football game now.
Right.
A
Well,
professional game.
and don't forget all the revenue from the from television
Yeah,
and now gambling, because you
Mm.
got FanDuel and
Yeah, we've got the
Who's-
same thing with our
Mhm.
football.
yeah,
Mhm.
You've got so many different betting companies getting in on the act, and then you've got
Yeah.
the collective bargaining agreement that adds streaming services as well.
Mhm. Yep.
yeah.
And then the
But
players doing commercials.
I know it's just
Yeah.
it's just so.
Mm.
It's not like it was when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I remember watching OJ playing college.
I remember when Joe Namath put on pantyhose.
Well, I remember his that and his fur coat that his mink
Yeah.
coat that he wore.
Was it mink or raccoon?
I don't know what it was. It was a
I think
fur
it was
coat.
One of those.
raccoon.
Was it raccoon? It probably was. Yeah. Yeah, Joe
Mink
Namath was.
that would be pretty pricey.
Well, he was making good money when he bought that coat.
Yeah. Yeah, he
So
was making close to $1 million by then,
yeah,
which was
yeah,
considered
big money. But yeah, that was
big
big.
money back then.
He was one of the highest paid players back
Mm.
then.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah,
That.
yeah. My tongue got twisted. Got over my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I was saying.
Mm.
But yeah. So football today is just and they've got so many. They've got so many. I don't know. It's just silliness now. It's just not the game it was when I was a kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we collected baseball cards, football cards. Just all of that stuff, and it was something that everybody, even though I didn't like football, I hated football because I hated going over to my grandfather's house on weekends, and that's the only time I got to see him because he sat in front of the TV watching the football games. you know. And it's like, you know, if you wanted to visit with him, you had to go in the middle of the week. Well, we couldn't, you know, because my dad was working or my mom was working, and so,
Right.
and the only time I watched football was during the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you're over on my channel, you can leave me a
Yeah,
super
leave a
chat.
super chat.
Mm-hmm. Get a few of those and get up.
Hey, Mudball.
Now you're on the now you're in the
Get
right
more of
chat.
those.
Yep.
Oh, Tim.
Tim Jackson. He's
And I don't
Tito's
mind
little
that Art
brother.
if Art makes a few bucks off of me because I don't usually have enough people to.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to make a big living off of my channel. I know that much. If it's
Not gonna make a living this month because I'm got zip for
you haven't
money
gotten any this month.
Nope, I didn't reach that $100 threshold.
Ah, okay. So have to wait until you
Yeah, I
get $100.
mean we're just coming off of summer, and
Yeah,
summer is usually pretty slow. And now that
yeah.
it's after Labor Day, it should start to pick up. We got a great crowd tonight. You got up to 34, 35 people so far.
Well, yeah. We've had a pretty good crowd tonight, and I appreciate
Mhm.
that. I really do.
Yeah.
Even though my internet's crappy, I apologize if I'm glitching, guys. I'm not sure if it's me glitching or if it's Art glitching, but one of us is. But I assume it's me. So,
Enough about your wardrobe malfunction.
Mark our whites up to 550 subs.
Hey, wonderful.
Yeah.
Get
550,
get
558.
your watch
Sorry,
hours up, and you'll be monetized.
Yeah.
Yeah, the watch hours are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put into to join, a long time ago, and mine's still showing. I never got an email saying that if you get 500 and 3,000 watch hours that you could become monetized. So I don't know. It's still showing, 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours. So,
Oh.
but I'm not really worried about being monetized because I can't. The thing about being monetized is you can't say just everything you want, and you can't play the kind of music you want. Although I've gotten dinged a couple times, not bad. They just like, well, we can't monetize that channel. Well, I'm not monetized anyway, so what do I care? But all the music that I played today came from Epidemic Sound. All the music that was on that opening, so I played that all came from Epidemic Sound.
Well, that sounds like a good selection then.
Yeah, they did. They Epidemic Sound. I mean, they're a little pricey, but boy, they've got a really good selection of music.
Yeah, they do.
But now my power director does have music too, but not as big a variety.
Right.
So, and that's what I used to make it was power director. I've actually got the Final Cut on my iPad. I don't know how to use it. It doesn't seem to be any better than if I made it with iMovie. Because apparently the features that you get on the iPad version of Final Cut Pro are basically what you get out of iMovie. or what is Microsoft? Their editing program is called Clipchamp. Yeah. Oh yeah, I use Clipchamp, folks. It's like that chimp
I've
and the
used all
monkey.
the editors, and the only one that the one that I'm really starting to work with is DaVinci. I think I've finally cracked it.
I've tried using DaVinci, and I just, but I do almost all.
Times.
I do all my editing on my iPad, so I either use
LumaFusion.
Is it LumaFusion, or I use
Filmora.
Cyberlink Power. No, well, I've used Filmora, and I use Cyberlink Power Director, and and Power Director is pretty good, and it's really good when I use it on my PC. But
we can be used as Power Director.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get into
Yeah.
CapCut. Doesn't matter
Well,
how
I've been
much I
using.
try.
Yeah. Well, I've used it for quite a while. Yeah, Mudball on an iPad. Go LumaFusion or CapCut. Now I haven't tried CapCut,
I
but
both, and
uh,
they just don't work for me.
I like LumaFusion. I used it when I was doing my daily vlogs. I used LumaFusion a lot, and then I got on Power Director because I was doing some stuff on my PC, and I found out I can use it on I can use it on the iPad as well. So
I've
it
used
transfers
Lightroom.
over well.
Yeah, I've used Lightroom. Doesn't grab me.
Yeah.
I was paying 15 Australian a month. And it just wasn't grabbing me. The only thing that really has grabbed me
Oh,
is DaVinci, but I've watched several thousand hours of YouTube videos about it.
it is rolled out in various areas. Not okay. That may be it. Then I'm not in the right area. So,
Mm-hmm.
but oh
We
man, but
got
yeah, that's Ray
MEU
Kelly, Captain Ray.
drone 4K
Ray Kelly,
all the way from is it Brazil? I
yeah,
believe
something
it's
like that.
Brazil. And we got Ray Kelly, Captain Ray. Hey.
Yeah. See,
Did
Steve.
you
And Tammy Jean uses Power Director.
Used over the years, the only one stopped him in his tracks was Da Vinci. Yeah, I tried Da Vinci for about. I tried it and it's just like, oh man, this is just because I'm a lazy editor. You know, I don't
I've,
tweak all
I've,
my
I've,
pictures.
pers- I basically persisted with it.
I just I just drop the stuff in there and pick out my music or pick out my soundtracks or whatever I'm going to do and then put it up there. And I've used Power Director enough that I can like that the timer video that I did. Well, it took me about 20 minutes to put together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that was only because I was trying to get my music time closer to where I wanted it, and uh, I had you have to look at the song. Okay, this is 2 minutes long. This is 2 minutes and 20
Yeah,
seconds. So this one needs to be
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes and 40 seconds or whatever. And then how much of a lead after? That's why I did that little bit of a lead or tail at the outro of it. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a lazy editor. I don't use any of the filters. I don't use any of that crap because I figure everybody's seen a drone. Everybody has seen a drone video. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there's pretty drone videos and there's some that's just bland. Mine are bland because I'm not really a drone pilot. I'm not out trying to
Mm-hmm.
get those cinematic Hollywood style. And because I got other things I'd rather do than edit video.
Like
And
sleeping?
try and get my
yeah,
yeah, like sleeping exactly. That's always an important thing.
yeah.
Naps
It's
are
another
important when you're my
important.
age, and but
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but and more power to the guys that do it. That makes it more enjoyable. For those of us who look at something. Oh, that's good. When it comes to FPV, well, not a lot you can do with it. You're zipping down. One blade of grass that you crash into looks pretty much like any other blade of grass that you crash into.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can get through, like we did that one Mike when he came in, we flew through those loops. But we both flew through slow. We took our time because
Mm-hmm.
neither one of us could afford or felt like having to buy a new Avadas. So we went through slow. We could speed it up in post if we wanted, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, anyways, man, I am glitching like hell tonight.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This would
So
teach you
I'm
to listen to authority!
so I'm trying to enunciate my words so they fit in between the glitches.
Oh, okay.
no, it's great,
Don't know if
man.
it's work. Don't know if it's working, but I'm trying.
Yeah,
But yeah, how many we? Let's see. Got 27 people watching right now.
Yep.
Even with
27.
all my glitches, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So,
Not bad.
but so I take it that Drone Nation will be on at the top there if you do want to know about drones
Yep.
and workings of drones
Yeah,
and
it
the
is.
rumors of drones and anything about drones. Watch Drone Nation. They come on at 8 o'clock Central
8
Time.
o'clock. Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock
About
Mountain
10 minutes.
Time, and 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock Pacific Time. Did I miss a time zone there?
Yeah,
I don't think
11 o'clock. 11 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time.
And 11. Okay,
Mhm.
Australian. All right. Okay.
Or 10:30 in South Australia, 9 a.m. in Western Australia.
There you go.
Mm.
Yeah. See, you guys in Australia though, you also have them half-hour ones that kind of jump in there. You know.
Yeah, South Australia and the Northern Territory are half an hour behind.
Yeah. Right.
We
Uh,
got Mr. B Outdoor Misadventures.
Oh, and apparently we got Tim Jackson because he just said hi to him. So if I missed you, little
Yep.
buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm doing my Mitch McConnell imitation.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm glitching. I take it it's my internet, and it's been an ongoing thing. I talked to my neighbor. I don't know. Last weekend, said he was having problems. I know my son's been having problems. It's let's see. Yes, we will probably learn about the new Mini 4, the GoPro 12, and the iPhone 15. There you go.
We all need to know
Mhm.
about that.
Yep.
I'm not even sure which model of. I think I've got the iPhone. I think I've got the 13. The one I've
I've got a
got.
12.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'll wait till 15.
yeah. I did the upgrade to 13 for some. I can't remember what it was. But now my wife.
Got the Galaxy S10 Plus.
Oh, okay. Well, my wife has the Motorola Razor Z.
Is that
The
the
folding
flip
one?
phone? Oh, the
That's
foldable.
yeah, the foldable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the it's the foldable. Let's see.
You need
Get
to get
Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah. Well, I need. They're installing fiber optic in the area. It's just a matter of when it gets to there. You know, I contacted one of them. They said they're not ready to roll out home service yet. So, I'm like, well, okay. A lot of good that does me. Quit advertising it.
Take care, Joe. Good night.
Oh, is Joe leaving?
Yep. And we got Bill,
Good night,
Coast
Joe.
Goes Drones.
Hey,
Another Bill.
welcome, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
The frumpy jogger. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and do the frumpy jogger. That would be.
Trumpet
I would
shot.
like. I like to see him out jogging. You know, ain't gonna see me. That
Good
could
luck
be
with
his.
that,
Yeah, good luck with it, Bill. It wouldn't bother me. There's probably somebody out there that would enjoy the frumpy jogger. You know, show the kind of really sloppy clothes you can wear while you're out jogging, and take a picture of all the the large women in their jogging spandex. You know, that really,
Yeah. Looks like a burlap sack full of croquet balls.
yeah. That would. This is what a frumpy jogger looks like. Yeah, that would.
Mm.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Mm.
I'll support you if you do it. I will. I'll
Yeah.
put it out there.
That'd be a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's like I said, I just come here to have fun, but today was
Nothing to joke about.
thinking about asking jockstrap companies to advertise.
Mhm.
They're coming up with all sorts of stuff. The lumpy
Oh, the
bobber. Okay.
lumpy bobber.
Yeah, the lumpy bobber. Yeah. Yep. Just go ahead. You know, they're just all sorts of names you can spin off of my channel name.
Mhm.
So, but
Yep.
anyways, but yeah, like I said,
Or the
today was just
stumpy frogger.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, somebody did put up the grumpy flogger the other day talking about, man, think you misspelled that, or you need to go back and look at my channel name.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides, it wouldn't have been the grumpy flogger, it would have been the happy flogger.
Mm.
Yeah. And don't have explosive diarrhea while flying on a plane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the
Mm.
video of that.
Oh,
No shit.
Is the, I saw some mention to it, but I didn't know what the hell it was about. I just, you know, one of those items I tend to ignore some of that stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean, what this guy? Hey, I think I'll drink this Go Lightly before I take a 2-hour flight. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see what. Nothing will happen there. Or hey, how
Yeah.
about this box of X-Lax?
Yeah.
Or let's just some Miralax would go good with my
Yeah,
orange juice. Yeah, let's
Yeah, there
Miralax.
you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yep. Yep.
obvious. We know about these things because we've probably all had to have a prostate exam and know exactly what the hell that stuff is. So,
Or a colonoscopy.
or well,
Yep,
yeah,
been there
colonoscopy
twice.
is
Yeah.
what I meant to say.
Prostate.
Colonoscopy.
I don't know what kind of doctor you went to, Lloyd. Well,
They needed a
probably
camera
the
to find
guy
it. Yeah.
kind that puts his hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you guys, I'm running about half speed right now. I could have rolled over and gone back to
And
sleep this afternoon.
Start singing Moon River.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. A colonoscopy is what I meant to say.
Yep.
What? Hey, you start getting those exams all about the same time. They start really checking you out when you get into your 50s. It's like, yeah, we need to check the prostate. We need to do a colonoscopy. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, fortunately, that is like really to the most invasive type of.
Yep.
No.
I
Chris
believe
Hope,
Bill
welcome
is
to the
going to
show.
have one this week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We got Chris
that's probably
Hope.
why-
Hey, Chris.
And yes, it was. Don.
Yeah. God,
Yep.
I haven't. That's with Chevy Chase, right?
Yep.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot who said it last night, but they were talking about Don. That was, you know, they said he was an idiot savant because they named one little item came up and he was able to immediately pinpoint it and name not only what the reference was to the movie, who starred in it, when it was made. You know, he's just a walking encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just amazes me. You know, I'm thinking he works for a living and he has time enough to remember all that crap. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired and I can't remember all that crap, you know.
Mm.
And of course, my memory's not what it used to be either. So hell. But you're wondering what I'm doing? I am watching the clock very closely. It is now 8:00, folks,
Yep.
and I'm going to
They've
go
just
ahead and give
started.
and they're just getting ready to start over there. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Thanks for sharing your memories of 9/11 and where you were at, what you were doing. I appreciated that. And everybody in the chat, because there was a lot of people putting up there what they had done. And, you know, remember, just tomorrow is 9/12. It's the day after. But remember it anyways. If you take nothing else away from here, I don't give a damn what your political leanings are. you know.
Time
Well,
to
that's right. You
upsize.
did get downsized. That's right. You
Yeah,
get
well, it's time to
so
upsize
now,
yourself, Don.
yeah, it's time to
Mhm.
upsize yours. Well, now you got
Yeah.
more time to learn more trivial bullshit that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyways, seriously though, remember that on 9/12, what you thought about today, you should be thinking about tomorrow. I don't give a damn what your political persuasion is, what your identity is, or any of that other crap. Just remember that at the end of it, we are all Americans.
Yep.
You know,
Already
except for
9/12.
unless you're from Australia or England, obviously. But those of us that live here in the United States, just remember back what you think of what you thought of that day, and keep
Yeah.
you know,
I remember waking
there
up
are
that morning.
yeah, there are still people suffering from all that. Now you got the firefighters' families and the firefighters that have died
Yeah.
from the cancers, and
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't, if nothing else, check out the Gary Sinise Foundation. He's done a lot of work with the firefighters and you know, Lieutenant Dan. For those of you who don't know who Gary Sinise is, he was Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And do something good. You know, go out there and do something good. Quit pissing and moaning about this channel or that. You know, just do something good. And
Yep.
try to do that for a week. You know, see if you can keep it up. You know, keep 9/11 in your memory. Besides just
Yep.
today. So, with that said and done, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Art, anything new coming up?
Another show Saturday. Probably, maybe I'll do a free for all. You know,
Okay.
be something different. I haven't done that on my show.
And Charles, anything exciting coming up for you?
Well, we're supposed to get back into playing this Thursday night, but nobody said anything yet. So as to what game
All
we're
right.
gonna play. So
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for it. And Dominic, you'll be on one of the mini streams throughout the week, I'm sure.
Yep. Definitely. Well, probably the next main one would be Matt's on Saturday morning.
Okay.
I'll
It'd
probably
be Sunday
see
night or Friday night
Saturday,
here.
Friday night here. You Friday night for you lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, just enjoying a bit of heat coming our way,
Good.
getting into the mid-70s.
I think Lloyd froze up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's time for
Uncle Roger gonna try my best to behave myself. No yelling at customer unless they are idiot.
each.
Oh,
Mhm.
other than Paul Murray.
Paul Mary.
Yeah. I'm
Now,
on there
do you Aussies say sorry or sorry like Canadian?
Sorry. I don't know. Sorry. Not sorry. Sounds
So,
like.
watching Kim's Convenience, it's like every time I hear them say sorry, I'm like, oh God, I feel like I'm watching one of Gary's shows.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
the hour before Ken Heron.
Yeah, watching Gary and Jim and a few
Yeah.
others in there. You can see
Sorry.
the Canadian influence. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they
Okay,
take
well-
out an R or something? It's
Yeah.
sorry. I mean, what's that game that you play? That's not sorry. It's sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, what is that Indian women wear? No, it's
Sorry.
it's a store in the Philippines. Sorry store.
Sorry. Yeah.
Not sorry. Sorry. It's kind of like like Kim's Convenience in the Philippines. It's really a convenience store.
Yep.
Where they have soda, they have ice, they sell food there. Yeah.
Yep.
And like my ex-fiance's sister. She has a sorry store. They're in Nyack, Philippines.
Yep.
And it's a little fishing village. It's right on Manila Bay, about an hour south of Manila.
Mm.
That's where I flew my Avata, and you see that crazy lady dancing out there? Well, that's my ex-fiance, Yolanda.
Well, good night, everyone.
Oh, what are we going to do? The show is still going.
I don't know. How do we stop it?
Can't
Yeah.
you shut it down, Art?
You know what? I don't think I can. Nope.
How about we just all leave and whatever happens, happens.
Oh, wait a minute. It says you are alive. Huh. I click on it and oh well, hey, those of you over on my channel, please leave a super chat.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What we get about? Yeah. Oh, I think. Oh, wait a minute. All right,
Here we come. Thank you
let's
for watching.
bump everybody out. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.